Thank you all for coming today. Welcome to the fourth cycle of the MITdesignX Venice program. The final pitches are taking place today. And before we start, I'm going to give you a little background in case you don't know much about it. MITdesignX is a collaboration between Serendipity and MITdesignX in Boston. Serendipity is the benefit corporation that operates this space, in case you've never been here before. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Serendipity. Serendipity has a simple but complicated mission, which is to contribute to repopulating the city of Venice that I'm sure many of you know has lost 3/4 of its population since World War II. And the way that we plan to do that is by fostering the creation of jobs. And today you'll see one of the aspects of what we do in that respect. We're here today in what we call the H3 Factory, which I'm sure you can tell was a church, obviously. As far back as the late 1400s is when it was created and lasted until the early 1800s. But then for 100 years, this space was a factory where garments were made. So these floors that you see over there came all the way across these apses, and there was a ceiling here until 1985, so not very long ago. And then the city acquired this space and owns this space now, and created this new space in the early 2000s for the purpose of being an incubator for startups. And Serendipity received this place for 9 years from the city, and we are operating as an incubator as it was intended to be. So, what does Serendipity do besides the startups that you're going to see today? We do a couple of other things. One is cultural events, cultural performances in the space, which obviously lends itself. We have this gigantic new screen, probably the biggest screen in Venice right now, that we can use for all kinds of performances. And there's going to be one coming up in a couple of weeks by the Academia of Arts in Venice. And we also host, and we've been hosting, students from the Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Massachusetts, where I have the honor to teach. And we've been bringing students to Venice from Massachusetts since 1988. On December 8th, if you're around, we're going to present the results of this year's cohort of students on the day of the Immacolata at the same time, 4 p.m., in case you're here. But the most important thing and why we're here today is the MITdesignX program. And this is the 4th year of the program. And so far we've accompanied about 40 startups through the process of from idea to launch, which is what the program is all about. And so before I hand it over to Gilad, who is the director of the MITdesignX program, I'm going to thank a few people. First, I'm going to thank you all for being here. I've already done that. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the people who are actually watching us on streaming. This is being streamed right now, so there's people around the world possibly watching this, and it will be recorded and placed on our YouTube channel in case you want to watch it afterwards. I'd like to thank the City of Venice for our partner who owns this space and gives us their blessing and lets us use it for 9 years. I'd like to thank the Serendipity team, which is everywhere in this room. I can't see them now, but they're the ones that make this possible because a lot of work goes into creating this program. This program goes on for, since September, we've been having workshops every 3 weeks. We have 2-day workshops. Gilad comes from Boston to follow the teams, and so it's a big effort. And it starts as early as March, where we begin the new cycle for next year. So thank you, Serendipity team. If you're out there, I can't see you, but I'm sure you're there. And thank you to all the assistants that are helping us today, all from the Conservatorio di Vicenza. All the setup with the cameras and everything, the lights that you see comes from our friends Davide, Andrea, and everybody else who came from Vicenza to set this up for us so we can do the streaming and everything else. And thank you for the sponsors and supporters that help us make this possible. You'll hear more about these later when we give the prizes. And thank you to the mentors. I know there's mentors in the crowd right now. This program is really not just teams and teachers, so to speak, but there's also a whole bunch of mentors. A lot of people who have experience in the world of startups that Gilad and others find and pair up with the teams, and they follow the teams through the whole process and beyond, because this program, one of the features is that it never really ends. These teams can come to see us anytime until they give up. We don't give up on them. So this is a forever program in a way, and the mentors continue to follow the teams even from 3-4 years ago. And thank you to the startup teams who are in the back right now. You'll get to see each and every one of them today for putting in this great effort. It's always it's sort of bittersweet situation at the end of the program because we got to know all these teams very well. We love them like our children, and we hope to see them after today, obviously, as well. But it's always it's a pleasure to see how far you've gotten, but also a little bit of sadness because we're gonna go off into the real world after this. So we'll see you again, I hope. And thank you to the jury. There's 5 members of the jury here up front who are going to give the jury prize today. And I think, here's the list. So I'm going to, maybe you can stand up for a second. Alessandro Aneda, it's alphabetical. So Alessandro, he's from Giudecca, a lawyer, a startup lawyer, working for a big studio in Milan. And the studio is actually giving a prize this year. Thank you, Alessandro, for being a member here. Alessandro Costa is not here. But Luca Farina is not here yet, but Luca Farina is the head of innovation of the Venice Sustainability Foundation, another of our judges today. Thank you, Luca. And Judy Nietzsche, who is trustee emerita from WPI, graduated from WPI like I did, and is now following the students that are completing their dissertations here in Venice with Luis Vidali, who's the other faculty professor here in Venice from WPI. Thank you, Judy, for being a member of the jury. And Emiliano Paoletti, representing the Mare Technology Park that's about to be built on the Lido at the former location where the Ospedale al Mare was, a huge development for the Lido, bringing about 1,000 high-end technology and information technical people who will occupy the whole big space where I was born, by the way. I love that. And that's a big thing. Thank you for doing that for Venice. And finally, but not least, Matteo Silverio, who is an alumnus of this program from the first year, I think, who recycles Murano glass and creates amazing things with the recycled glass. His company is doing well, I think. He not only pays himself, but he actually has employees that he pays. So it's one of our success stories. Thank you, Matteo, for being here today and for being with us through the years. Okay, thank you to the jury again. And finally, but not least, again, the MIT faculty that comes from Boston to follow these teams every year. First and foremost, of course, Gilad, whom I'm going to pass the baton to in a second. But we also had Monique Fuchs this year for workshop number 3. She's wonderful as well. And these two at the bottom are the sort of the behind the scenes big players that founded and direct the program in Boston. This program originated at MIT in Boston, has been now spreading through the world. So I'm going to pass the clicker to Gilad, who is going to introduce the startups as they present. And if you want to say a few words, you could do that as well. Down is forward.
Down is up. Okay. Great to see everybody. Everyone back there, all the teams are back there, ready to come up on stage. So I'm not going to be here too much longer. I'm going to clear the way. But thank you, Fabio, and the whole team here in Venice. And I can't believe this is our 4th year already doing this. It's when you called us up, we got an email from Fabio years ago, and it says, I got this really cool space here. It's a church turned into an incubator. Can you run a program? And it took about 2 seconds to answer, saying, yeah, we'll be right over. And we got it going. It took a year of COVID to get through until we actually got it going. And then here we are. And and every year we just improve it. And the quality of the teams, though, from year one until now has been incredible. And it's also a sign of what's happening here in Venice, especially. We also run this program elsewhere. We started it and still run it every year in Boston with MIT students and faculty. It's our 10th year now running it at home base. But we do this program also in just outside Geneva, Stockholm, Dubai, Mexico City, Hong Kong, all over. And every time I come to Venice, I'll be honest, it's my favorite place to come and run this program. But also the quality of the teams and what you're doing here, extremely impact driven, right? And I know that is what we look for always in our teams around the world. We want to see the social impact, the environmental impact that you create. We're not looking for obviously we want you to have to make a lot of money in order to make that impact, don't get me wrong, but we judge people on what they do and not just on on certain figures that they raise. However, we want you to raise those figures, and we tell you that because in order to make the impact, you need the economic capital in order to do that. And what we do in this program is, first of all, focus on the product and the service that you need to make, on the demand in the marketplace or in the world, and identify that need. That's what we did in week 1 or in session 1. We look at the context, the global context, the economic context, the trends that are happening in the world, so that you're ready not answering yesterday's problems, but looking into the future. And we then took it and said, well, now let's go back to your solutions and build them to be even better. You came in here with a great idea. You're coming out here with those same ideas, extremely well refined. You applied business models to them. You also worked on your teams, right? You can have a great idea. If you don't have a team to run that idea, then nothing happens. So we spent a lot of time in workshop number 3 on team dynamics, on the business model. And then the last thing we did, and that's what we're going to see come to life today, was what is the plan for the future? What is the plan for the next year or 2 years to get the momentum, to build the venture, and keep on building year after year after that? And today, you're going to tell the world what you're doing. So you're going to tell these fine people in the front row and all the, everybody here in the nave of H3, and of course everybody who's watching online, whether live today or in the future, so that they see what you're doing and so that they can get in touch with you and make sure that your ventures not just come to life, because they're already living, but to make sure that they grow and scale. So that's it for me, but thank you for everybody. I'm going to now, the way it's going to work, every team's going to come up here. We have 9 teams. They're going to give approximately a 5-minute pitch, followed by about 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes of Q&A from the people here in the front row. Afterwards, we'll switch team after team. So I'm just going to come up here and just really quickly say then, welcome to the next team. I'm not really going to talk much more. At the end, there's going to be a lot of time for the audience to engage with all the teams as well, and we'll continue the conversation after. But are we ready? Are we ready? All right. So the first The first team presenting this afternoon here in Venice is By Harvest. Come on up. By Harvest.